Hey everyone, so today is, wow, my first uh, day taking a vacation from basically almost all social interaction. The local library has closed down. Most of my people that I associate with have kind of left town. Unfortunately, I still have a few clients who want their tutoring. I do tutoring, and I hate to lose them because, as it is, it's hard to get any human interaction. But at the same time, it forces me to more or less stay in the Seattle area. It's a tough choice. You can't really fly at the airport anymore now. So whatever the case is, I'll enjoy whatever I can out of the tutoring. But yesterday I made a video about how every human interaction is a blessing, and we shouldn't take that for granted. Even the bad ones, even people who are being wrong to you, you have to learn not to be that way, or you have to learn how to deal with those people, so that next time you might get somebody who's not as bad, and you'll know how to handle it so that uh, to come out of it strong. So, a couple months ago, let me talk about a few situations of why I think every human interaction is very useful. A couple months ago, I was at um it's a coffee shop here in the Redmond area, and every week they have this concert. And unfortunately, there isn't much I could get over there because, obviously, as somebody who struggles with high functioning autism, I try to stay away from sugar and milk products. Uh, so I often bring food from outside into the coffee shop because it's a 3 hour concert. Nowadays, I just because I'm doing fasting every so intermittent fasting. I usually just choose my fasting day to be that day because that way I don't have to get into this disagreement. The owner knew me; he knew I had autism. But one day, one of his I don't know if it's his family member or his employees was there, and he very rudely, because I was looking at the computer, so I didn't see him. He very rudely interrupts and says, "Hey, you can't bring outside food in here." And I uh, I was lucky that day because that day my mind was already occupied with a billion things. So I just very calmly said, I have some. I told him it was allergies because it's more easy for people to relate to. Uh, and he very calmly walked away. And I looked around the store, and it turns out there's Indian incense sticks that I tolerate. So I got a pack of those, and that's all right. But it's very useful. It's very useful to interact with such people as well. One of the reasons I love traveling overseas is that if we were in Europe or maybe Japan, people tend to talk and move much more slowly. The guy probably, if he were Japanese, right, he would probably walk up to me and introduce it. How are you? Hello, and would you like to try something? We usually don't allow people to bring outside food, and it wouldn't have startled me, and I probably could have replied a lot more politely. Well, I know this because when I was in Japan, I had taken a flight one time from where was it? Tokyo to Taipei. I had a conference in Tokyo, and on the way I had stopped in Osaka, and there's an overnight layover, and I ended up sleeping in one of those chapels. And they needed to come clean it up, and they were very polite to me, and as a result, it made me polite back. Here in the U.S., if I sleep somewhere in the airport that I shouldn't, things tend to move very fast and very loud, and it makes it. Sometimes I don't make the best choice of words or actions when that happens, but I need to learn how to do that. That's why I said even those interactions are very useful. 3 months ago, I almost lost my life over something that now seems very trivial. What had happened was I had been up 60 hours writing computer games. I got very obsessed with this one idea, and at the same time, I had a disagreement with a former friend of mine, And then I got very despondent over the venue that they had chosen for the Computer Game Association. They wanted to meet up in Japan. I've been to Japan before, and I just wanted to go somewhere new. And I got very despondent about that. And as I was sitting in a Starbucks, I was hoping this police officer would shoot me. And so my camera was in my bag, and I reached for it and pointed it at the officer like it was a gun, hoping that he would shoot me instinctively. For some reason, he happened to turn his head when I did that. He needed to look at something else in the store or something like that. And he didn't see it. And you know, thoughts like that never last more than a few seconds. So, as soon as he turned his head, I was very relieved that he did that. Uh, and then I realized that, and then I had a few seconds of calm, and then I was like, oh my god, I could also grab his gun as well. And I told myself, you know what, let's go get some sleep before we do this. You know, if I wake up and I realize that I still want the police officer to kill me, I could always drive to the police station and do something really stupid like that, right? And so I pulled into my car and I got some sleep, and I was like, what in the world did I just do? And I scared myself to death over that, and it made me realize that maybe I need to mingle a little bit more. Unfortunately, not long after that, we had the coronavirus. But you know what? Mingling with others is great. Spending time alone is great too. You know, I went on a walk on the trail today. There was almost nobody there. I'll try to enjoy it. Unfortunately, it seems like everything is shut. I don't know how we're maintaining it because on the library door it said they were closing until April 24. Uh, here, anyways, I'll let you take a look at how long everything is. Because I don't know how so many people can be out of work for so long. I don't know how it's being sustained. I mean, I remember it wasn't that long ago during the Great Recession when we had 10% unemployment and everything went to hell. And now, you know, I don't know. I don't know how it's being sustained over the next couple of months. Hopefully people will wake up to their senses and realize that you know, the cold or the flu kill a lot more people than the coronavirus. It's all a politics move, and it kind of reminds me of in the 1980s when people got scared to death over AIDS. I wasn't alive in the 1980s, but I've watched a lot of films about it. My favorite, the Ryan White story about a kid named Ryan White who had contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion, and he fought to go to school. There was a movie called and the Band Played On about all the politics and all the fear mongering and all the profiting that was made out of people's fear of AIDS. I can already see how history will record how the coronavirus is playing out.